What's up guys, Duster McDangles back here with another video, and welcome back to the Montreal Canadiens franchise mode rebuild series with Rick Rebuild. And in today's episode we're going to be getting into the second half of the season, which is the push for the playoffs, free agency, trades, all that fun stuff here in today's episode. But before we get into that, guys, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. We've been growing like crazy over the past couple of weeks, and I cannot thank you guys enough for the love and support you've shown me and the channel. So let's keep that up, let's keep this thing rolling, and let's hopefully make the playoffs here today, as the team has been struggling this year with injuries and just the style of play. We just have not been able to put it together. As you guys can see here, the standings, we're currently 4th place in the division, 35 points. We're basically tied with a wild card spot right now, so we got to find a way to put some things together here in today's episode. And in the last episode, I did talk about potential trades and getting players moved out depending on how well they do in today's episode. One of those players is Jonathan Joran. He has not had the best of years. 9 goals, 9 assists in 36 games played, minus 10. He has been playing on that third line where Marchenko is currently sitting, as well as Bergeron is out of the lineup right now, so Lehkonen is currently playing center right now, as well as Hanifin will be back in the lineup soon. Bergeron isn't fully healed yet. We're going to wait until he is fully healed. But if Joran is not playing great hockey, I'd say around the trade deadline, we're going to make some moves for him and potentially bring in some other players. Now, I have done a little bit of digging on some free agents here, or not free agents, but been doing some digging on some players that we could potentially trade him for. But what I also did notice, and I thought that this was absolutely crazy, and I don't know if it is something that we can do at this point in time. Margie Payne for the Calgary Flames is a restricted free agent right now. I thought we could try to sign him, but obviously we cannot. Sonny Milano, although, is up for purchasing, which honestly wouldn't be a bad shout. We only have 900,000 left in the cap. Honestly, that would be a nice little shout. He is top 9 forward medium potential. Let's see if there's anybody else worth of note that is a high potential that would be worth trying to go after. But honestly, it looks like he might be the best one at the overall he is at right now in this point in time. And if anything, I mean, we bring him in, he doesn't do so hot, and we end up moving on from him. But if we can get him for 3 years on a two-way deal like that, 26 years old, the sky's the limit for this kid. So I think that would be a great move if we bring him in. AHL player at the start. Maybe things work out that he hops into the lineup. Who knows? Maybe he grows to 80, 81, 82. That's exactly what we're looking for. But it's going to be a tough go here. Month of January is going to be a tough one. Brook is back. Actually, he's injured. Broken leg. He's out till March. So that's unfortunate for him. And we're going to advance the day. I'm waiting for Sonny Milano to either decide on it. Patrice Bergeron is fully healed. Did we beat the Edmonton Oilers? Roster's full. Oh, that's a bummer. We would have to get rid of somebody. That's unfortunate. We lose to the Oilers as well. We would have to trade somebody out to actually bring him in. And honestly, I kind of want to do that. I want to bring in Sonny Milano. I feel like that would be a great addition to the lineup. He is a left winger, I believe. And do we have anybody worth getting rid of? Baddock. I don't know what we're actually super stacked on. It looks like center position we're extremely stacked on. And if anything, we could maybe move out Paquette. He is a little bit older. Probably not going to... Yeah, he hasn't really put up points at Laval this year. Could bring in another centerman into the lineup, to be honest. So let's move on from Paquette. Trade value is not really there, so we're going to try to ship him off to a team that wants him and that we can maybe get like a 5th or 6th round pick for. I feel like that would be a nice little shout potentially. Possibly maybe 5th for 2024 draft. The value is actually in their favor. We're probably only going to be able to get a 6th round at best for him. Yeah, that looks like it might go through. Trades rejected. Wow. Gonna have to maybe throw in a 7th. We have 2 7ths this year. I'm not too worried about them, so we'll throw that into the mix. Get a 6th out of it. Trade's rejected. Plus, this would also open up a little bit more money. Honestly, I'm not too attached to the 6th round pick. We don't even have a 6th round pick next year. Not attached to our 6th round pick this year. I legit just want to get him off the books. We'll have a better contract in. Trade's accepted. We'll go in here, go to roster moves. We don't need to worry about that right now. I don't think for the NHL best AHL lines, that's perfectly fine. Now we can roll in there, try to bring in Sonny Milano. He basically said that, hey, the deal's good, but you guys are full on players. So we could definitely bring him in. I did not mean to go under coaches. I also took a look at coaches to see if maybe we could bring in a change, but coaching change wouldn't really do us any good at this point in time. As of right now, our coach is a 72 team fit, and there's no one else even remotely close to that. So we're going to have to stick with our coach for now. Can't make a massive change in there, but Sonny Milano, he is definitely going to hop on the team here. 3 years, $775. That's a great deal. Bring him in. He's actually having a pretty good year in real life right now with the Ducks. So I'm surprised he didn't get a deal out of anything. But we do need to move Patrice Bergeron back into the lineup. He is fully healed. Thank goodness we can bring him back because we need him to get on that second line. Bring that back up to 2. That would be absolutely amazing. So Rodriguez gets bumped down. Dvorak gets bumped down. It's actually only a +2. Why is that? Oh, it's because Marchenko fits, but Caulfield doesn't. I'm thinking maybe this is the time we move on from Joran. We're going to give it a couple games. Just give it a couple games, see what he does. He's at 9 goals, 9 assists at this point in time. We're going to give it, I'd say, a week because I don't want to keep Caulfield on that third line. I think that might stun his development a little bit. So let's go ahead here and let's simulate up to the New Jersey Devils game. So just remember, Joran was at 9 goals, 9 assists. He's now on the first line, +2. Get an injury at the AHL level. Sonny Milano is going to accept the contract. There he is. Your cash offer was most generous. I mean, I guess so. We lose to the Wild. Mulligan is back. Actually, I want to edit lines because I want to do best AHL and get Sonny Milano into the lineup right away. There he is. I mean, that top line is pretty stacked. Pretty happy with that. Bottom line, -3. I'm not too worried about it. We lose to the Blue Jackets. It's not what we want to see. Ducks, we win 2-1, so we're 18-20-2. We lose to the Wild. Guys, at this point, like, we're in last place in the division. This is not good at all. This is not good. Toffoli, 34 points in 41 games played. We don't have any goal scorers. Oh, this is so tough. At this point, we're playing for a top pick in the draft. Joran, 11-10, so he was at 9-9. So in a couple games played, he only has 4 points. Honestly, I'm not. I don't want to do that anymore. Caulfield already gets the +2 on that line. Joran, we're gonna make a move. We're moving Joran out. We need some grit. We need some salt and pepper in our lineup. I think the only big guy we have is Lawson Krause, and he is a power forward. I don't even think... I mean, if we bump him up a line, he does get a +1 technically. That could be something we could do, but I don't want Joran on the books, and I would rather get something out of him because he only has a year left on his contract and bring somebody else in that could be a benefit to our club. So there are a couple guys here that I would like to try to bring in, and I saw 2 that really stuck out to me. But let's first... Joran's value is not the best either. As we go down the list here, he's a pretty far down there, and look at that. Very low trade value for his contract. He's probably, actually, before we make a trade, I'm curious to see what he actually wants for a new contract for next year. Because if he wants something like 6, 5, 6, 7 million, the way he's been playing, that's just a big no-go. Plus, Caulfield's going to be up for contract. We're going to have to make some money, make some room for him. Although he does want a very fair deal at 4.9. We probably could get him down a little bit more. But Joran, he wants 4.3. Doesn't fit the bottom lines. We could bring somebody else in cheaper than him that has maybe the same or better potential at a younger age, possibly. Because looking at the rest of our team, we only really have to deal with Rodriguez, who wants 2 mil. We might not bring him back for that. That might be a little bit too much unless we can get him on another good deal. And I don't know, goaltender-wise, we would have to make a deal for Jake Allen, which, whoa, he wants an amazing deal. We're going to give him that deal, actually. And he wants to re-sign. That's awesome. That would be huge because that's going to make a little bit more room for the cap because he's making 2,675 at this point in time. That would be awesome if we could do that at 83 overall. But Joran, we're going to move on from him. I don't want to keep him on the in the club. I don't think, to be honest and to be fair, even though we've given him a fair chance somewhat, he has been playing third line minutes, but I don't feel like we need him on the club. I don't want him on the club, so we're going to move on from our boy here, Joran. Let me know in the comments what you think about moving on from Joran. It could be the right move. It could not be. We're about to find out. But one player in mind that I was thinking of whenever I was looking before this episode started at potential players to bring in was Texier. He does have 1 year left on his deal. Oh, actually, no, it's not Texier. I was looking at the wrong team. It's actually the Dallas Stars. And the person I was looking at was Calle Jarnkrok. He is a little bit older. He is better, around the same points as Joran this year. Forward line 3 does fit. All penalty killing lines he does fit. He is a little bit cheaper because remember, Joran wanted about 4.6 for next year. He would be at 3.9 for 2 years. That is one potential deal. The other person I saw that could bring a little bit of salt and pepper to our lineup, which is what we, I think, desperately need, is this Kostin kid. Klim Kostin, he's from Russia, 12 goals, 7 assists. I'm not too worried about the points because he only plays 10 minutes a night. I'm more so thinking we need a bottom 6 forward, fits penalty killing line 2, and he does fit those. That's kind of what I want. Is very passionate about winning, will do whatever it takes, could be emotional at times. He's 6'4", 217, 23 years old. This kid, I mean, look at his physical. He is an absolute beast. Skating is actually pretty decent for a power forward as well. Hands, deking, pretty good. Shot is actually very good. Wrist shot power, slap shot power, and accuracy, honestly, is really good. He is on the last year of his entry deal, though. And I don't think, and to be fair to him, I don't think he's going to ask for as much as Joran would ask for. Now, the only issue with this is we might have to trade, or we might have to throw in a draft pick for this, but we're going to try to go straight 1-for-1 swap. It's not going to work. So in this case, we're going to have to give up a draft pick, or what we could do is throw in one of our rookie skaters that most likely won't play. And that's why in those late drafts, we try to go for those low elites. And this Wes Sims kid, I think, would be perfect to get the trade value in our favor, as well as potentially get like a late garbage pick to pick up yet again another player in a late round pick. Now, I remember we don't have a 6th round pick for next year, but maybe if we get another 5th, that would be a nice little pick to go through. Trade is accepted. Got to go to roster moves. I think that was a great move. Again, that Wes kid, will be able to pick him up with that 5th round pick we just got, literally. And that is what we're going to do. Now, editing the lines here is going to be interesting. It did say bottom 6 forwards. This guy does technically fit. So we're about to find out if this Kostin Kai 80 overall fits, and he does get the +1. So look at that. Line fit is perfect, almost. Even either him or Kraus, and both of those are our power forwards, fit those lines, and I'm really happy about that, to be honest. This I'm not happy about. That's got to change. I was gonna say Daniel Sprong in there, I do not like whatsoever. So we're gonna have to get in Bergeron. Substitute him in there. Get him. I'd say we need Bergeron on that top pair in overtime. And then we need to take a look here at special teams penalty kill. Who doesn't fit? I'm wondering if the Costin guy that was saying that he does fit penalty kill 2. So let's get him in there. That's perfect. Gets rid of the minus. And then 4-man power play. We need to... Whoa, this is really weird. 4-man power play is kind of all over the map. That's kind of crazy. We need to switch this around. Let me change this around here really quickly, and then we'll take a look at the full lineups. So that's a little bit better for the lines guys who've gotten the power play and everything all sorted out, but the lineup's looking a little bit better, to be honest. Caulfield back on that top line. Costin on that third pairing. He does get the +1 for Dvorak and Athanasiou. So 84, 84, 81. We've got 83. We've got 94 and then an 87 for Toffoli. Caulfield's technically 86. Suzuki is technically 88. And Gunther is technically 86 as well. So really happy with those. Really happy with that trade. Now we also have more cap space for next year. Now what I'm curious about, at this point in time, honestly, I saw Caulfield's deal. He was, I believe, wanting 4.9. I think we'll be able to offer him a little bit lower of a deal because he does want to re-sign. So let's get this down to, I'd say 4.6 for 6 years. I feel like that would be a great deal if we could get that to work. And I'm curious about the Costin guy, who would also be a restricted free agent. He wants 2.5, which is better than what Joran was going to be. Now, if we bump it up a couple of years, it could be a little bit more. He does want to re-sign with us, so we might be able to even get this down to like 2.275. I feel like that would be a great deal. So I'm offering those now just to get those out of the way, because at that rate, we don't even really need to worry about anybody else. But now we can get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, which is the simulation of the hockey games to see where we're at and get up to this trade deadline if we need to make any more moves. So let's go ahead and get through the rest of this month, hopefully without any injuries. That would be absolutely amazing. But let's see if this shucks some things up. As we start off hot, we beat the New Jersey Devils 4-1. Cole Caulfield's going to re-sign. That's amazing. Jake Allen re-signs at that minimum deal, as well as Costin re-signs. So things are looking pretty good for next year's team when it comes to contracts. We lose to the Oilers 2-1. Noah Hannafin's fully healed. So we are getting our boy that we brought in the offseason back into the lineup. I was going to say, it's been a long time coming to bring him back in. Really happy that he's back. I'm curious, though. Fleury, 9 points in 33 games played, playing first-line minutes. Good for him. Maybe that will help him out in the long run. Who knows, but we need Hanifin in the lineup. He played 6 games and got hurt. So thankfully we get him in there. Does get the +1, so he's technically up to an 84, which is good for him. We beat the Vegas Golden Knights, and against the Anaheim Ducks, who are actually really good this year, we beat them as well. Get a trade offer here for Colin Miller. Interesting. He's got a contract worth $3.72 million. He is 81 overall, 30 years old, not the best of stats, top 4 defensive pairings, so we don't need him. And they want Jesse Yulin. He hasn't really put up the big stats this year. I'm wondering though, if we get rid of Colin Miller, they're willing to trade their 3rd round pick for it. I'm curious if we could maybe steal their 2nd round pick. If we get rid of their 3rd, we can even maybe throw in a 4th. And actually, I want to throw in a 4th for the year after. For our 3rd round in 2024. This could be a nice little deal, although cap doesn't work with that because they're a little tight on cap space. So we're going to have to retain some of his salary for this year. Oh, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to work. I thought we could maybe finagle their 2nd round pick, which would have been nice. We lose to the Canucks 7-1. That's a big L right there. Laval, let's go to I want to make sure that they have the best lines possible with the players that are available. And I'm curious on the back end. It is what it is. So not too worried about them. I'm sure they're playing great hockey. We beat the Coyotes 7-1. Big game against the Kings. I don't even know if we won 7-1 or lost 7-1. We lost 7-0. That is insane. Romanoff's been injured until February 10th. Sore shoulder. That's pretty soft, to be honest. Gosh, that's such a bummer. But we got some defensemen. Fleury's been playing some good hockey. He doesn't work on that bottom pair, which is unfortunate. We can't move Sherrod up, so Hayden Fleury is going to have to roll on that bottom or the mid pair. So we beat the Kraken 5-2. We beat the Devils again 6-2, and we're back to 500, guys. Back to 500 on the year. And I'm curious, in the Flyers, they are absolutely killing it this year. Right now, standings-wise, we are sitting in 5th in the division with 50 points. Wild card is 52 with the Rangers. So we've got a lot of ground to make up here. And we're going to simulate midway point of February. Ooh, Costin's out until February 17th with a neck strain. Are you kidding me? That's unfortunate as well, but thankfully we know Krause can get the +1 on that line, on the third line, so we'll move Lehkonen in, we'll put him on the fourth, move Krause up to keep that power forward spot on the third line. So that's great. I'm glad those guys are interchangeable. We did end up losing to the Flyers, it looks like. Get a trade offer here for Brooke, who is out with injury down in the AHL. I don't think he's ever going to play NHL minutes. He is only 23. He's out for a long time. Could get him off the books. We are going to have to re-sign him. And I'm curious. They're willing to give up 2 third-round picks, so got to keep that in mind. But I want a second-round pick from them. I want to try to get... Oh, and they only have a second-round pick. That is interesting for this upcoming draft. If they're willing to give that up, that would be an absolute steal. Trade's rejected, so we're going to swap this for their 2024 second-round pick. I'd rather have 2 seconds, or a second instead of 2 thirds. And we could even maybe try to throw in their 6th-round pick this year to see if that goes through. And that trade is accepted. That is an absolute steal, I think, for an injured player that most likely never going to see the light of day in the NHL. And we could probably bring in somebody equally as good in the offseason for the AHL team. But let's get our boy Romanoff back into the lineup. And that is perfect there. He does keep that +2, and I'm curious. Yeah, we can't move him around, unfortunately. Petrie's down to an 85, but technically with the +2, he's 87. So that's fine there. For some reason, the simulation thing is being a little funky, so I'm going to stop the simulation there just so we can take a look at the screen. We'll get this simulated all the way up to the Kraken. At this point, below 500, we are... See, look at this. Arizona's placing Sodvari on waivers, and this could literally be the replacement for... Yeah, I was going to say, this could be the replacement for the book guy, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to claim him off waivers. Actually, he was at a better deal than the book guy was. So, look, things work out. We get draft picks. Costin is back for the lineup. Again, I know the team isn't playing the best this year, but I'm happy with our lineup. I don't know if that makes any sense. Costin's actually already up to an 81 playing third-line minutes, and he's actually, I'm curious how many points he has with us. 10 games, 3 points. He is a -4. That's fine. That's not his role to score goals, but he is getting better. He's already an 81. Big game against the Lightning. We do win 6-3. Game against the Panthers. We got a Florida trip. We lost in a shootout, so we do get a point. We're in last place in the division. We lost to the Red Wings. We lost to the Capitals. Big trade offer here for some players that I don't even want, so we're going to decline that trade. At this point, we're going to be in the running here for a lottery pick. Costin is out again, man. This guy keeps getting injured back and forth. There's a second injury since coming to the team, which is unfortunate. Bergeron's still a 92. Let's move Lehkonen up. Krause up. And then I'm curious. We could technically move Suzuki down. Bergeron gets the +3 now. Does Dvorak? Ooh. I don't want to move Suzuki down the lineup, to be honest. He's been playing great hockey. We'll leave him on the second line and see how that goes for a little bit. Gunther's actually up to an 86 overall, which is interesting. Let's go to edit lines for AHL. I want to get best lines for these guys. It's always good just to go in there a couple of times. That should get the Savari guy in there, which it does. Doesn't fit the top pair, which is interesting. So we'll move that around so there's no negatives going around the AHL team. And Savari's out. That's so funny. But it is what it is. We've got 2 games left in the month of February. We beat the Sharks. Got a trade offer here for Sean Walker. I don't want him. Don't need him. And we're 26, 29, and 4. We're last place in the division. We're going to simulate right up before the trade deadline and reevaluate some things here before we make any final moves of the roster. Joel Edmondson, fully healed. I didn't know he was injured in the first place. We lost to the Kraken. We're 26, 30, and 4. We beat the Kings. We lose to the Flames. Okay. Time to reevaluate some things here at the trade deadline, because at this point, let's see here, 66 points. We have a lot of games to make up to even try to make the playoffs. 58 points, 59, 52. At this point, we're in the running here for a lottery pick. And as much as I want to say I don't like that, at the same time, I'm kind of excited about that, because this is the draft of Connor Bedard. This guy, we actually have 2 gems now. Carlson, who's a right winger, and this Konjuretiev. I would actually prefer this Henrik Carlson guy. Oh man, Timu Solani is his same player, and Mikko Koivu for Connor Bedard. This guy I absolutely want. If we get a top 3 pick, I don't care about Michkov. No thanks. He's NHL ready. No similarities. This guy, he plays in a league that we don't even scout. I'm not honestly too worried about that, but Connor Bedard, franchise medium with 4 bars up, that is who we have to take. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Connor Bedard putting up insane points as well. Like, he has no weaknesses. That is who we need to try to get in the draft. And at this point, for the franchise, I'm actually really excited that we're not doing so well, because we could potentially get him. So that I'm almost kind of happy about. If we look here, I'm curious about the trade value here at this point. I know this episode is kind of a downer when it comes to, we're not going to make the playoffs. We could potentially make a push. Again, I'm happy with where our lineup is at. It's just we can't score goals. For some reason, we just can't score goals. I want to take a look at the trade value of our players. And looking at it here, Bergeron, he's at the top. And I'm not getting rid of Patrice Bergeron. He is franchise staple piece at this point in time, unless... No, we're not trading him. We're keeping him. I was thinking for a quick second, I'm like, we're not trading him. Gunther, he's already up to an 86. He's got 10 goals, 19 assists. I mean, he's absolutely killing it right now for rookie points on a first line. We'll have to take a look to see if he might be up for Rookie of the Year. Klingberg, he's putting up some great points on the back end, 87 overall. Jeff Petrie, though, he's got 17 points. He's not playing first line minutes. He is -10, 85 overall. I'm curious if we could maybe move on from Jeff Petrie to maybe a better contract at a better age as well, because Klingberg's 30. He's our top defender. He's not going anywhere. Jeff Petrie, though, 35 years old. This is almost like the Shea Weber in real life, if he's healthy, area of he's good, he's okay, but he is old. And technically is a two-way defender. I'm really considering moving on from him. I don't think we need to keep him around. I want to keep Edmondson, Romanoff obviously staying around. This Tiro kid, he's staying around. I'm not getting rid of him. He's got an X factor. He was our first round pick, 18th overall last year. We're going to keep him around for a little bit more. I want to see how he develops for next year. Hanifin, he's on a great deal for 9. We're going to keep him around. He's not the best of points, but he is not that person to get us those points for 2 years. So yeah, I want to move on from Jeff Petrie. I want to do this before the deadline, to be honest, just so we have the time to make the move. Now, the question is, who is that defenseman out there that we could try to bring in? That is the real question, and that's who we're going to look for. So give us just a second. Give me just a second, and I'll see what I can find. Here we have a trade offer, guys. I was looking around, and I saw this kid, Brant Clarkey. He played, I believe, I want to say for the Barrie Colts in the OHL. I don't know if we can actually look at that. Yep, Barrie Colts OHL. He put up 67 points in 58 games played. Not having the best of years with the LA Kings, but he is elite medium potential X-factored player. I think would be a great replacement. Top 4 defensive pairings as well, which is great. So he can play top 2 lines on defense. And we'd be giving up Petrie. Korchinski is another one of those kids that we drafted late, 4th round pick. And we'd be giving up a 3rd round pick for this kid. I don't know if this could go through. I would be super happy. And this kid actually has 3 years. He's on his rookie deal. 3 years at $9.25. This could be a corner piece for the franchise moving forward. Trades rejected, in which I was fearing that would be the possibility. So I'm going to need to bump up the 3rd round to a 2nd round pick for the Rangers. And that's why we stack up on those picks. See if that goes through. That trade is also rejected. So we might need to go up a draft pick. Calgary Flames 2nd round draft pick is a little bit higher in value. See if this can go through. That trade is also rejected. So we're going to have to throw in something else in the pot here. And to be honest, I'd be okay with giving up the 3rd round pick as well for the 2024 draft to get Clarkey. Oh man, that trade's rejected. That would have been so nice to bring him in. If this is the last one, and this might be stupid, but again, desperation of bringing in top players. 2 2nd round picks, a great prospect, plus Jeff Petrie for Clarkey. I hope this can go through, and that's rejected. That's a really unfortunate bummer, but we're going to have to move on to another player. So here's another trade offer here for a player that is well known around the league, Shay Theodore. He's got 3 years left on his deal at $4.78 million, as opposed to the Jeff Petrie 3 years at $5.910. So we're actually saving room on cap as well, as he is an X-factor player, elite exact as well. At 27 years old, we'd be getting a younger player. He is technically still a 2-way defenseman, but he does fit the top 2 lines on defense, plus power play 2. This could be a good trade, so hopefully this can go through. I doubt it. Yep, we're going to have to throw in some picks here, which, I hate doing, but we've got a bunch of picks to try to make this work. So we're going to start off with the Rangers 2nd round pick that gets the trade value in our favor. Trade is rejected. So now we're going to go for another 2nd round pick, Calgary Flames. Add that into the mix. Trade value is heavily in our favor. If this goes through, I'd be happy. But if it doesn't, such a bummer. So we're going to have to move on from this trade as well. Last opportunity here. We can try to go for a top player. He is running out of his rookie deal, though, so we're going to have to try to re-sign him. I don't know what he's going to want. Jamie Drysdale of the Anaheim Ducks. Hopeful that maybe this trade can go through. It does not. So we're going to have to throw in the picks. I'm not trading any of our 1st round picks. We are keeping those close to the vest here. We're going to start with the Rangers 2nd round pick. See if that goes through. It does not. Now we're going to try the 2 2nd round picks, and if this doesn't work, we're going to try to go back after the Clarkey kid for some more stuff. Yeah, that doesn't go through. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and the Clarkey kid, that was for the LA Kings. Honestly, I really want this kid, to be honest, the Clarkey. And let's see. There he is. Elite medium potential. We already know the 2 2nd round picks is not going to work. So maybe if we even throw in a 3rd, I don't know if that's going to work. If not, we'll try our 2nd from this year, but I'm not willing to give up are our first round picks. Second round picks I'm okay with. We'll try the third, see if this goes through. I mean, we're giving an arm and a leg for this kid when it comes to draft picks. So we've got 3 seconds, a top prospect, and Jeff Petrie for this Clarkey kid. It does not go through. That's kind of crazy. Let's take that off. I wasn't wanting to do this, but I'm honestly, for this player, I'm willing to try and give up our first round pick from last year. We'll take off another second to see if that goes through. Trade is rejected. Let's throw on the second round pick. Again, we're giving the Kings a pretty decent future, I think, with picks and players and all that good stuff. And I don't think they're going to accept it. Trade's rejected. Man, that is kind of crazy. So let's now try after the Vegas Golden Knights here with this same offer for, what's his face? I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. And that is Shay Theodore. I don't know if this is going to go through either, but I mean, look at that trade value. That is absolutely insane in our favor, and it's rejected. I don't think we're going to be able to move on from Jeff Petrie, which does kind of suck, but we're going to have to maybe look for a lesser of a deal here. And I think that's what we're going to have to do. So give me just a second. We'll look a little bit more. So here we have an offer, guys, for Jacob Chychrun of the Arizona Coyotes. And they've got plenty of room for cap. He's got 3 years at $4.6 million, 86 overall. He does technically only fit defensive pairing 1 in all power play lines, which I'd be okay with. We could move Hanifin around. But if this can go through, this would be an absolute steal of a deal. That is rejected as well. So let's throw in that other second round pick to see if we can get him. Actually, I'm curious if we maybe throw in the third, save a second. Nope, probably going to have to be this second round pick. Kind of hopeful that they say yes to this. I don't know if they will. But the trade value is heavily in our favor. Check it out based on what you're asking us to cough up. Seems like you haven't, so you better be willing to give us something outstanding. I mean, this is pretty outstanding, to be honest, when it comes to values. I don't know what they are smoking, but we're going to have to find another deal. Here we have a trade offer, guys, for Philip Haronick of the Detroit Red Wings. 83 overall, top 4 medium defenseman, potential two-way defender. He does fit top 4 pairings at the 4-star or 4- range, I guess. We're not going to retain any salary for Jeff Petrie. And, I mean, Detroit has a ton of cap room, which also does lead us to the potential of stealing some more draft picks, which exactly what we need to do, especially with this year not being the best of years. We're going to try to steal their second round pick for next year, which I don't think, honestly, we're going to be able to do so unless we give up one of our second round picks for next year that has less value. I'd say the New York Rangers, and that might be enough to make this trade go through. I'd be happy if it does. It does not. So let's maybe bump this up because I think their second round pick technically has more value than the Flames pick. So we're going to see if this goes through. Trade is rejected. So if anything, we're going to have to pop off their second round pick, maybe even go for a third round, their third round. We might even be able to get a fourth round pick out of this. No, probably not. Third round pick, Haronick. This is 4-4 for 2 years. Again, we're saving about $1.5 million, pretty close to. And we'll make this, the trade's rejected. Wow. Jeff Petrie's value is just not the best. So we're probably going to get a fourth round pick out of him. If that. I mean, trade value is still a little bit in our favor. Maybe even try to snipe a fifth round pick out of this. I don't think we will, but we'll see if it goes through. Trade's rejected. Take off the fifth. See if the fourth goes through. It does not. Jeff Petrie's value, again, this is not great for him. So we'll swap their fourth with the fifth next year. This hopefully goes through. Trade is accepted. We finally found somebody for Jeff Petrie and got at least a pick out of it. And hopefully he is technically top 4 pairing for D, which would be great. But you never want to hold your breath for anything. But let's see what happens. Romanov's up to an 83. Haronick. Does he fit? He technically does not. He doesn't fit the bottom pairings either, which is kind of a bummer because Haronick, that's tough. That's okay though. I'm happier with that than Jeff Petrie, especially if we're in a down year. It is what it is, but we're going to go ahead and simulate through. We don't really need to make any more trades, I don't think. I'm happy with the rest of the team, so we'll simulate up to the next game. We're not going to worry about the trade deadline, although we will take a look at the big trades that do happen. Conservative seller. We're going to continue simming, and then we'll see what big trades do happen here in just a moment. So apparently we're not going to see any big trades, unfortunately, but that's okay. We have the team we want moving forward here at this point in time. And again, talking earlier about we've got a chance for Connor Bedard is honestly, it would be worth it if we can get a top 3 pick. That'd be absolutely sick, but who knows, we could go on a magical run and make the playoffs. We do start off with a W against the Ottawa Senators. Here we can get our boy Kostin back into the lineup, so we'll take Lehkonen out, throw Kostin in, put him back up on the third line, and we're going to continue on with this Suzuki on the second line and see how that goes. Klingberg's injured. Quite a blow there. He is our top defenseman. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to have to throw Niku in there. He doesn't fit on the top pair, but Haronick does. Back to edit lines. What's going on? Extras. Extra attacker. That is bizarre because we need to change this, I'd say, to Caulfield. And then let's throw this to Bergeron. Look at that. There we go. Perfect. Back into the simulation, which we will continue on. I'm actually curious. We'll take a look here at how our AHL team is doing. And let's get them their best lines. They're actually, I don't know how they are doing right now, but we'll get their best lines set. Get that back to the simulation. Actually, I need to stop the simulation. Fully healed is Milano. Stop the simulation. We have lost 2 games straight. We did beat the Lightning and Ottawa Senators. And let's take a look at the AHL squad. They are 37-25-6, so they're actually on having a pretty good season for themselves. But let's continue on with ours. As Jet Wu is back, head coach replaces player, or he's injured. The Avalanche are absolutely killing it this year. We lose 6-3, no surprise there. Islanders away from home, we win 2-0. We beat the Red Wings. Jonathan Quick has been placed on waivers. At that contract, we are not taking him on. That is insane. I don't even care what his overall is. We are not taking on his insane contract. But let's continue on keeping the preferred lines for the AHL. Keep them buzzing as they have a chance to make a push. We're actually not in last place in the division anymore. It's a race with the Sabres to get a worse pick this year, it looks like. But Jake Allen with a broken foot. He's out until May 15th, so he's out for the rest of the season. We're going to have to call up Primo up from the AHL and see how things go. I don't even know if we're gonna have even a goalie, like a back. I don't even know if we have a backup goalie in the AHL now. We might have to sign somebody here late in the season. I don't even know if that is possible, but Carey Price is down to an 88 overall. Not what you like to see, but we're gonna keep rolling with him. He's got terrible stats this year, so we're just gonna keep on moving. Well, best lines for the AHL. They do actually have a goaltender, which is pretty cool. But continuing on here against the Red Wings, lose 4-1. We beat the Blues. And again, we're in a battle for that final spot in the division. It looks like here, Jet Wu fully healed. We'll just continue on. We lose to the Flames 8-2. We're just getting pumped in games this year, guys. Like, it's not even close when it comes to how good we are. Suzuki's out until April 7th. It's just this injury. This year has been riddled with injuries, guys, and it hasn't been a huge help. Actually, Bergeron on that first line has helped him out. But just losing players left and right has not been fun for the boys, and we're going to have to move Lehkonen. He actually gets a +2 on that third line, so we'll keep him on the third line. Why not? See what he can do. I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter here in the season. We're not making the playoffs at this point. We do beat the Coyotes. We lose to the Florida Panthers. We beat the Rangers. Suzuki is back, fully healed. Again, I'll put him into the lineup just because I would rather him be in over Lehkonen. But this season is not what I expected after making massive moves, or the massive moves we did. And, you know, it is what it is. We're going to have a shot here at a lottery pick, which I'm happy about, at least in that regard. We lose to the Bruins. Suzuki's injured once again. We'll just head coach replace player because we've got a couple games left. We at least beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're got a game against the Sabres. Head coach replace player again. Not too worried about it. We do beat the Sabres, so we're not going to get last in the division, I don't think. We got 2 more games left in the season. This is the first time I haven't made the playoffs in a very long time. Noah Hannafin's out, and we're not going to get last in the division. So we lose 80 points on the season is going to be, I think, good enough for a lottery pick. But we don't make the playoffs, which is kind of a heartbreaker. Look at that, 68 points in 82 games played. That's kind of crazy for our top scorer. I'm not going to lie, that's extremely disappointing. But I am happy with the progression of Gunther. Man, Hayden Fleury was playing wing at one point. That's kind of crazy with all those injuries in those final games played. But I'm actually curious, head coach preferred lines, and they are quite interesting. Toffoli gets the +3. I'd rather have actually Caulfield on the second line. Wouldn't be too bad. He did put up some solid points. Gunther, he honestly might be in the running for Rookie of the Year. And let's take a look here at stats because the season is over. Kind of a real down episode. NHL season is over. And I don't know if the AHL team, they made the playoffs. So good for them. We'll simulate through. We'll watch them in the playoffs here. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a push here. Hanifin fully healed. Not too worried about that. But it looks like the AHL team is about to get knocked out of the AHL playoffs, and they have. So at least they made the playoffs, but they didn't get far. It's been a tough year, guys. Real tough year. Take a look at team leaders when it comes to points, player stats. I mean, Gunther was up there. 46 in 82 games played isn't terrible. Actually, I'm very curious for league stats purposes if he is going to be Rookie of the Year, because if anything, if we can get a bright spot out of it, that would be very cool. Gunther is not going to get it. Marchenko was actually up there as well. But it looks like these two guys, Kent Johnson's probably going to win it. So that's a bummer there. Honestly, the goaltending situation is going to be something we're going to need to address with Carey Price going down in overall is very concerning. He is getting older. I won't lie there. He is 35 years old. He's down to an 88 overall, 9.20. He did bring his stats up at the end of the year with a 2.28. Jake Allen, 7.60. That's kind of terrible. 83 overall. Again, the defense just wasn't there for him. I'm curious where we sit in the grand scheme of things for the entire NHL when it comes to how low are we. Do we have a shot at a pick is the real question. I'm really hopeful as we go down the list here of teams that made the playoffs. Ducks barely made it in, it looks like, and we keep going down and down. We're 25th in the league, so we're going to have a fair shot at it. A fair shot at a lottery pick. I will trade up to get Connor Bedard. We do have multiple first-round picks, and we'll have to see how things go, but I'm curious. We can simulate up to the draft, so we'll see who won the league here in just a second. But we'll simulate up to that, and we'll see how things go. So it looks like the Tampa Bay Lightning are your Stanley Cup champions, as well as the Texas Stars are the Calder Cup winners. Salary cap has gone up to $90.5 million. We're about to see the results of the draft lottery, and where are we? We stayed at 8th. Are you kidding me? Dallas gets up to 1, Seattle 2, Minnesota goes down to 3. So we're going to have to trade up for the pick in the draft, which we will do in the next episode. We're going to take a look here at retired players, guys. Chara, Erickson, Ladd, Little, Alex Goligoski calls it a career. Tyler Bozak, Seabrook, Dubinsky, Advocator, Roussel, Mark Stahl, bunch of guys calling it a career. I'm actually curious for goaltenders who has called it a career. We've got Dubnyk, Darling, and I don't even know how to say that guy's name, so we're not even going to try. But those are the retired players. We're going to have to trade up here in the draft. Tyler Bozak is now a coach, which is pretty cool. Got a bunch of scouts, a couple retirees. We'll continue simming to the draft. Pro scout calling, not too worried about that. But we're up to the NHL draft, and we will actually pick up here in the next episode and start from here with off-season and all that good stuff. We do want to take a look here at awards. Lightning win the Cup. Colorado Avalanche won the President's Trophy. Vegas Golden Knights actually ended up playing the Lightning for the Cup. Individual awards. Eichel wins the Art Ross and the Hart. Makar wins the Norris. Patrick Kane wins the Lady Byng for the second straight year. That Kent Johnson kid won the Calder Memorial Trophy. Kucherov with the Conn Smythe. Bennington with the Vezina. Anderson with the Jennings. Larson for the Bill Masterson. San Jose Sharks win the Jack Adams. Couture actually won the Selke, which is pretty interesting. Eichel with the Ted Lindsay, as well as Maurice Richard Trophy goes to Nikita Kucherov. So cool stuff there to see the end of the year. That's all she wrote for today's episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like on this video. We'll catch you guys in the draft for the next episode, but I hope you have a good one. And as always, stay dusty.